What's going on, everybody? We are out here at Navy Pier. We are going to be doing a little bit of fishing out here. We're going to try to catch us some lake trout. And we'll see, guys. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but thought it was worth a try. Thought it was worth a try. I don't know if we got a ton of light left, but I think we got a couple minutes at least to go ahead and cast for these guys. And maybe we catch one, maybe we don't. We'll see, guys. We'll see. But yeah, I'm out here at Navy Pier. We are in downtown Chicago. We're just kind of on the Lake Michigan, I guess, side of downtown Chicago. But yeah, we are gonna try to catch us some fish. It is really cold, guys. It's not super cold, but still pretty cold. It's probably like, I don't really know how cold it is, but all right, guys, we're gonna be casting some spoons. Yeah, I'm gonna start with the casting spoons and kind of go from there. So I'm gonna plug this guy in though. Got a big portable charger. Just want to make sure that we got enough. There we go. Want to make sure we don't lose it. All right, so we're gonna be. I've got my 10.5 foot salmon rod. We are going to be casting for lake trout today, guys. Lake trout off of Navy Pier here. So we will see. I'm going to be using a big old casting spoon. We're kind of fish it like a jigging spoon. Let me show you what I'll be using. Fish first off with a shiny, couple of different shiny casting spoons. All right, so we're going with this guy first. Hey, how's it going, EWAS? Didn't end up catching anything from yesterday, but I'm gonna be throwing this. It's a big old heavy spoon here. I'm out on Lake Michigan right now. It's at Navy Pier, but yeah, it's right next to the lake. And yeah, I'm gonna be trying for lake trout. I've heard they were really slamming these big old spoons. Thank you, Matthew, thank you. So we are gonna go ahead and see if we can get a lake trout. It is also super cold out here, guys. Like, I mean, it is well below freezing. The water still isn't frozen yet. I imagine it will freeze up pretty soon. Anthony Serrano caught a 38-inch Laker Monday. Awesome. What's my PB? As far as PB, I have never caught a lake trout before. So if I can catch a lake trout, I am gonna be super pumped. But we'll see, guys. I'm gonna be casting this around and seeing if I can catch one. I will try to get to the chat as I'm able to. It is a little difficult doing this style of fishing, you know, casting these big lures around, but we'll see. From what I understand, oh, nice cast. That almost went clear to the other side. So you got to let this kind of sink down toward the bottom and then kind of bring it in. PB from any species, I don't know, like a 13-pound carp, like a 12-pound catfish, channel cat. Yeah. All right, so we're letting this. Gonna bring it back like this, guys. So I'll just kind of retrieve it back right along the bottom. how's it going? How's it going? How's it going, NL Fish YouTube? Thanks for tuning in again. We're out here at a little different spot. I am fishing for Lakers. So I'm doing casting spoons, or like a kind of a bit of a casting spoon, a bit of a jigging spoon. I think it's a big, heavy spoon. And I'm trying to see if I can catch something on the bottom here. People have caught them out here, from what I understand. Came up clean. PB is on my YouTube channel. Awesome, awesome. I will check that out then. I will check that out. I love checking out other YouTube channels. So, yeah. We are a fishing community. I love checking out what other people are doing. Just let that kind of sink down. Trying to get to where the fish are. Not think about this, but we may have a problem here. I need to switch out my line types, I think, because thank you, Matthew, thank you. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to switch out my lines because it is cold enough now that I'm getting quite a bit of ice on these lines. Hopefully I can cast still at least a little bit more. I kind of overlooked that issue. Hopefully it won't be. I was able to cast there. It's been mainly cars so far. It was originally supposed to be a farm channel and fishing. Awesome, awesome. Well, I like watching a little bit of farming stuff too, so yeah. I mean, I don't really do any myself. As you see, I'm in the city, but I do like watching that sort of stuff. So, where are you located in? Above Manchester, England. Oh, okay, awesome, awesome. You're in the UK. That's cool. That's cool. I love all my UK fans. Thank you very much for watching from the UK. That's awesome. And Anthony is from Wisconsin. Oh, cool, cool. I think I need to make a trip up to Wisconsin to go fishing sometime. Well, not now, but like when it gets a little less icy. Always wanted to fish that lake. It's on my to-do list. Awesome, awesome. Well, I'd recommend it. I will say that, like, fishing the lake though, if you're gonna like come out here, if you're gonna come out here like all the way from the UK to do it, definitely like get a charter and go out with like a guide and stuff, because you'll catch way more stuff. It is one of those lakes that is super hard to fish from shore. It's kind of like fishing the ocean, right? It's easier off a boat just because it's so big. Launched a boat last Monday. The brown trout were on fire and landing a 38-inch laker. Oh, awesome, awesome. Was that up on, Anthony, was that in Lake Michigan then? Like out of Kenosha or something? Awesome, awesome. Alright guys, I'm gonna see how long I can fish for out here. Yes, Oak Creek, just south of Milwaukee. Oh, okay, that's actually not too far from me then. Yeah. So I am definitely having some issues here already with ice. The ice is really forming up on my line and on the guides here. So hopefully it doesn't affect the casting too bad, but it might be an issue. We'll see. I do a bit of every type of fishing, only done a bit of sea. Only one I do now is fly fishing for trout. Ah, awesome, awesome. I love fly fishing as well. I don't do a ton of it, but I do do a little bit every now and again. I love fly fishing for trout. It's just I don't really live in an area that has a lot of fly fishing available. We don't have like great trout streams because I'm in the Midwest. We got trout, like brown trout, lake trout inside of Lake Michigan, but it's pretty hard to fly fish for those guys. Because the lake is really big. You know, you usually want to be on like a river or a stream to do fly fishing. Hey, how's it going, Andres? I'm going fly fish for carp a lot. Awesome, awesome. I have tried to catch carp on the fly. I've done it a few times. It is a lot of fun to fish for them on a fly rod. I love fishing for carp. It's probably one of my favorite fish to go for, actually. I think they're a really in the U.S. They're a really underrated fish species. I just like them because they're really big and it's fun to carp fish, especially because you can just use bait. Use corn. You throw your lines out. It's kind of a relaxing style of fishing. Just jigging this spoon up off of the bottom, kind of letting it hit the bottom and moving it back up. Carping cats, that's my main. Yeah, same here. I really love doing those. Those are my favorites, you know. And you guys got those Wells catfish, those really big ones. Our most common one is the channel cat. They don't get too big, but they're still pretty big, nice sized fish to catch. And they're really good eating as well. I don't eat a lot of fish, mostly catch and release. They are fun to catch. Just retrieving this spoon back real nice and slow. Uh, 42-pound Wells, 5.5 feet long. That's awesome. That is awesome. I've never caught a fish that big. That is awesome. Yeah, like a 12-pound channel was my biggest. Of course, we do have those like blue catfish. Those will get like 100 pounds, I think, but still smaller. You know, they don't get near as long. I haven't actually ever caught a blue catfish. I've really wanted to, but they're pretty hard to catch. They're a lot rarer than the channel cats. So. Switch out, try throwing something else. Where am I fishing? I am on Navy Pier in Chicago, like downtown. I was seeing on Fish Brain folks were catching stuff out of here not too long ago, like just a few days ago. Someone got a lake trout out of here, so that's what I thought I would do, is come out and see if I could get something as well. We're gonna try a jig, like a little white trailer. How's the perch? So I didn't actually go for perch this year. I was, see you, Matthew, thanks for tuning in. I didn't actually try for perch this year. I was a little too busy during the big, like, perch run. I saw one person out here right now fishing for perch. So I'm thinking it's mostly died off. But from what I understand, everybody that did go out had a pretty good year. So, I mean, the fishing for perch it was pretty good this year, from what I understand. Or normal, you know. It's always the best thing is perch. Unice my line up here. Yeah. I'm having the ice up here again. Ice is really killing the, messing with the casting a little bit. Just a little bit, guys. But we're gonna keep going, see if we can fish. We're gonna fish for as long as we can. There it went. It just got caught up on the island there. Alright, so now I got a jig with like a little trailer on it. They did good on perch. Yeah, perch is huge. But perch fishing here is always big. It really peaked like a couple weeks ago. But like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of, I was pretty busy, so I wasn't able to come out and partake in the big perch run. But it's usually right here, and it's like shoulder to shoulder people fishing. Yeah, it's usually like shoulder to shoulder out here. Spray some of that Freestone de-icer on the rod, it'll help for a while. That is actually a really good idea. I'm gonna have to do that because, yeah, I'm getting all kinds of ice stuff out here. I will remember that for next time. I didn't even think about the ice, but it's definitely a bit of an issue. Probably would help as well if I switched out from you have to keep on it, but yeah, it's better than nothing. I'm gonna have to give that a shot though. I will remember that for the next time because yeah, it is really messing with the ability to cast here a little bit anyway. I imagine switching from braid, so I'm using braid still. I should probably switch to like a monofilament or something because from what I understand, braid ices up a lot easier as well. But I don't know, so far I can still cast. I'm gonna keep on fishing until I can't cast anymore or until it gets dark. Too dark to see anyway. Well, they got streetlights on here, so maybe we'll fish for a little while. Or until I get too cold. It is a lot colder than it was yesterday, so it's definitely a possibility. Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Satan? No, I'm actually in pretty close to where I was yesterday. The city skyline's behind me. I'm right on the lake. So this is I'm at what's called Navy Pier. It's a big like kind of fishing spot, and pier. They got like a Ferris wheel and stuff out here. Where am I at? Yeah, you can't see the skyline. It's behind me right there, actually. So I'm pretty close to downtown. But I am right on the lake, and I'm trying to catch some lake trout. I'm doing a jig with like a little white swim bait on it. And I'm gonna keep fishing here as much as I can. I am having a lot of ice issues. It's colder than it is than it was yesterday. So my rod reel's getting quite a bit of ice on it. But we're gonna keep fishing until I can't. We're gonna keep fishing until I can't cast anymore. We're gonna see. So yeah, Elias was just telling me some tips on how to try to keep the ice off of the reel. Because it's probably like 25 degrees, which is probably what, like -3 Celsius or something. So it's pretty cold, and it's got some wind. Definitely colder than it was even yesterday. But I'm trying to catch a lake trout. Let's see if we can. They're pretty hard to catch. Lake trout are pretty hard to catch. And they kind of hang out towards the bottom here, so I'm just kind of bouncing a jig with a little white swim bait up off the bottom. Seeing if they'll bite on that. I was throwing a big heavy like casting / jig spoon earlier, but didn't get any bites on that, so switched to this. See if we get some bites on it. If not, I might try switching to like a walleye bait, like a walleye style, like deep running bait. Put some Vaseline in the rod rings. Ah, okay, that's another good tip. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give that a shot as well. So I don't have anything on right now, and yeah, it's definitely having to really kind of break through the ice there. It's a bit difficult to get there, but there we go. Good. Definitely will remember that for next time. Yeah, we're getting a lot of ice collecting right up on the tip of that rod. And then a little bit on the reel itself. As long as I keep reeling it in and stretching it out, it's able to. It's not icing up as bad as I thought it was going to. Well, I say that now. It might get pretty bad here in a bit. But 25 foot deep here. Well, between 15 and 20. 25 out in the very middle. Then as it gets closer, of course, it gets a little shallower, but it's still pretty deep. My first time coming out here and trying to catch lake trout. But yeah, like I said, never caught a lake trout before. I'm really hoping to get one. Hopefully I get one here in 2025 because they are a really cool fish. I'd really love to catch one. I'll fetch some food, cold one, be right back. Sounds good, Satan. For those Mackinaw 60 to 90 foot normal depth. Yeah, definitely. They get pretty deep. For whatever reason, they come into shore kind of, and this is supposedly a pretty good spot to catch them. And they've been in the last couple of days because folks have got them out of here. You know, I've seen people post and stuff that like on that fish brain app that they've caught them just like 6 days ago, I think. Somebody caught a really nice one out of here. So they're definitely they've come into shore a little bit. I don't know how long they'll be here, but supposedly you can catch them. It's kind of like fishing for salmon in the harbor, you know. A lot of casting, from what I understand. I'm actually thinking I'm going to switch to one of my, like a walleye style, use big white plastics. Oh, okay, yeah, well, that's actually what I'm fishing with, is a big old white plastic, like a 4-inch swim bait on a jig head. So I was doing throwing a spoon earlier, like a casting spoon, a big heavy one, and letting it sink down there. In East Washington, folks will troll using 8 12-inch rainbow trout swim bait. Yeah, wow, that is a really good idea. You would catch some big ones there with that. I don't have any baits nearly, you know, that size. That's like a musky lure kind of thing. I've seen musky lures that are really big like that. So had to bite the ice off of there. That's one way to get the ice off, just like bite it off. So we're iced up again. Let's see if we can catch it. There we go. hopefully we can cast it. Like I said, the ice is pretty bad here. Expensive lure. I bet, yeah, that's one you wouldn't want to lose. That is. I always get nervous fishing with those, like, you know, if I fish with a really expensive lure, I almost don't want to, like, cast it around any really heavy cover just because I'm like, man, I don't really want to lose this. Winter, spring, quite shallow as well. Okay, okay. That's what I've heard, yeah. They come in, from what I understand. Now, I thought they spawn in, like, the springtime. Also, good to see you here again, Steel City Fishing. But, I think they spawn in the springtime, from what I understand. But they'll come into shore, like, towards the winter. Well, these folks have been catching them towards the shore here. But I know they're generally a pretty deep water fish. They usually hang out at the bottom of the lake. Spring Lakers and browns on Great Lakes anywhere from 6 to 20 foot. Okay, okay, makes sense. They actually spawn in the fall. That's why lake trout. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. But makes sense. Pretty shallow harbor right now. Kind of the big spot. Folks usually come out here, they catch two things out on this spot. It's usually perch and lake trout. Obviously perch, there's a big perch run. That happened like a week ago. Kind of wrapped up about a week ago. Although there was still one guy out here fishing for perch. But then there's lake trout. We'll fish the lake trout out at this spot. And I've seen people catch big lake trout out here. I was out here last year fishing for perch, and I saw folks catch a big lake trout out of here. And it was probably around this time too, like in January or something. So it can be done. I've seen it done in person. Supposedly they're in. Just a matter of getting one bite. They're a pretty hard fish to catch from what I understand. What was that? Yeah, I think it's open year round, I want to say. Little Cleo spoons, other spoons, or white tubes or swim jigs. Yeah, that's what I'm using is not a white tube, but like a white swim bait on a jig head. I was throwing a silver like casting spoon, or like heavier, kind of a casting slash jigging spoon. And I was fishing that down on the bottom for the first like 20 minutes or so. But we didn't catch anything, so switching to this. I didn't cast nearly as far as I was hoping to, but the ice is definitely starting to come up the reel here a little bit. So I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to keep casting here for, but I will have to come back out sometime with some of those tips, either Vaseline or like a de-icer. This line is just like, I'm getting a bunch of little beads of ice all over my line, which is not helping. Well, that one wasn't too bad. Messes your line up huge, ice. Yeah, it definitely does. I did not really even think about that. So the last couple of days, it wasn't too bad. It was like right at the freezing mark, but not like super below freezing. I think it's like in the 20s here though, so it's now cold enough to where it's definitely messing up the line a little bit, which is not really helping with the casting. When you're going home, let it thaw out, pull most of the line on a reel, put tension back on line and re-spool. Get you some jigs or Persian style like Outfish Ontario's Silence channel. Oh, okay. I will have to give that a shot. I will give that a shot. Yeah. There is like a really, we got a really narrow walkway here, so it is. Had to move out of the way there, let folks time, but. Ridiculous. Yep, trying for lake trout out here, eh? I'm thinking I might switch this reel over to like monofilament or something as well and pull the braid off. I've heard the braid is a lot worse with ice. It's like one of the worst things to have in the winter. So I don't know how true that is, but from what I'm seeing, it's not doing great in the cold. It is really cold out here. Really, really cold out here, Pickle. Not cold enough so far. Lake Michigan hasn't frozen yet. This is gonna freeze pretty soon though, I think. It's gotta be very close to freezing in there. I think it'll probably freeze up this week. I wouldn't be surprised. It's supposed to get down, well, I think it is in the 20s right now, and I think it's gonna stay like this for the next couple of weeks. Next week is gonna be real cold. Yeah, it's gonna get really cold here as well next weekend. So all the next week actually. So I think everything's gonna freeze up. So far, the big lake hasn't frozen yet, but like everywhere else is frozen. All the smaller lakes and stuff are all frozen. So only right downtown. The Chicago River is not frozen right downtown because they got like warm water discharge and stuff there, and then just Lake Michigan doesn't freeze until pretty late in the winter because it's a big lake. Not really in a great spot to go ice fishing. I might give it a shot. I did a little bit last year, but I just had like a buddy's equipment that I was using, or I went with my buddy that is more into it. I don't have like the stuff for it, but I will tell you what, guys, I'm actually going to go ahead and be having to call it quits here though, because the ice is really jamming up my casting. So sorry I didn't catch a fish out here. Gave it a shot, but I'm gonna go up and de-ice this rod because yeah, I can't cast. I'm barely casting anymore. The ice has iced up my entire reel. I pulled back, you know, every time I'm pulling the line back in, I get all those balls of ice and they're all freezing together. So they're really blocking my casting. So, oh well, it was worth a shot. Sorry about that, and thank you all for watching. I will see y'all on the next live stream, and yeah, have a good one.